I probably should start like numbering the videos too, but we'll come back to another episode of the Apache podcast. We have our special co-host guest, Gumby, and we got an interesting one, interesting topic this week
Wait, I don't
or
think you're
today.
live.
I am
It
on
says
YouTube.
waiting for, maybe it's delayed.
I should be.
Oh, no, there you go. Yeah, it's not. Okay, my
It's
bad.
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good. Okay.
And we got our we gotta protect our Nigerian prince. Uh, Trump
Oh
is
yeah.
might potentially be declaring war for Nigeria. So we got a couple of videos queued up as well. So we might be tuning into those and see what's going on. But yeah, man, I think so. The story is what the Christians are being prosecuted within Nigeria, uh, probably comparable to what the Uyghurs from China. Um, but what do you think, man? Do you think we should be involved? How much do you think we should be involved?
Dude, it's an annoying thing. We're trying to get out of these wars. We're trying to get peace in the world, across the world right now. So it's really a conflict of interest to go in and get involved in another war because it kind of diverts the movement we're trying to spread, which I'm trying to spread in some other
Yeah,
Republican share is that we don't want wars to happen. We don't want to be intervening in wars. We don't want to be getting involved in any wars that cost us money that we don't get return on. I know that sounds like, oh my God, we got to profit on things we help out, but yes, that's how life works. That's how capitalism works, and that's the reality of things. I mean, we're a nation for a reason. We
right.
formed a nation and and made our independence in 1776 on the pretense that we would be separate from other nations and that we work sovereignly and independently of other nations. So to get involved in some of these other foreign affairs is a nasty thing. So I mean, obviously, it's nasty for um, the Nigerians to be persecuting the Christians that live within their country. That's a terrible thing. I don't want to deny that at all. I mean, it's up to over 50,000 Christians that have been killed, and particularly white Christians, because they're calling these Christians literally inhumane. They're calling them boars, literally animals. So they're taking the humanity out of the Christians that live there. So it's a particularly um, unhumanizing thing to do, so that they're able to push this narrative where they see them as lower than they are. So
What
it's a sad thing to see. I don't want to see us get involved in other affairs, but I do want to give the people that are facing prosecution a way out. So asylum seeking, I think, would be a way to. I think would be a way to not get involved, but also to help out, to look at the situation as it is, and to keep to our foreign policy efforts, or keep the advances of our foreign policy efforts still advancing, while not, you know, secluding to some of our more historical natures of intervening in some of these foreign affairs.
I mean, when you're talking about, you know, countries prosecuting a specific religious group or a specific ethnic group, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these people don't really have the time and energy to really seek, you know, forms for asylum. So
Mm-hmm.
how would you how would you protect, you know, let's say, how would you protect the, you know, the people out in the Christians out in Nigeria without having to go through a formal asylum process? I mean, obviously not 50,000 people are going to be
Yeah.
accepted, but how do
Mm-hmm.
you, you know, what is a maybe not like, you know, we should be intervening and
Mm-hmm.
go in and, you know, knight on a white horse and save 50,000 Christians or whatever ethnic group, you know, they belong to.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you know, what is a way to, you know, is it, does it Does it involve sanctions? Does it involve the United Nations? You know, what can we do to prevent those 50,000 or however many numbers,
Hmm.
Christians or ethnic groups specifically, to be, to be slaughtered?
Yeah, so we can offer an expedited asylum process, enable them some uh, extra extra rights or privileges that other asylum seekers or other immigrants wouldn't get because they're under certain persecution.
Okay,
That would be like not having to wait in such a long line, but and given privileges that others don't have because they are in a unique situation, unique, semi-unique situation. I mean, it's happened before,
situation.
but in modern world, it's rather medieval to do it. I mean, it's literally we have a Muslim, another Muslim group, right? So it is a Muslim group
Predominantly,
prosecuting,
yeah.
yeah, predominantly Muslim group persecuting these people. So it is not only an ethnic cleansing, but also a religious cleansing to some degree. Yeah, yeah, well, they're both because I don't know if they're separated. If it's just for religious prosecution or if it is based off ethnics, I'll have to look into it a bit more. But yeah, we'll offer them an expedited process. I mean, I was looking into this, and it looks like we are somewhat involved in creating this because the United States just approved $346 million arms sale to Nigeria, which gave them more arms than they already
Hmm.
have. I mean,
Hmm.
there's some other countries that had already armed Nigeria, but we
Yeah,
recently.
I actually had to look it up because I
Mhm.
didn't know what the U.S. and the Nigerian relations were. But I mean, apparently Nigeria is one of the more important African al allies that the
Yeah.
U.S. has. But I mean, I guess now with that being said, is what are we is the United States and Nigeria on the brink of war for
Oh,
for what is going on, or is it just
I mean, they have no. I mean, there's no war cannot be said in the same sentence as Nigeria and America. There's the um the amount of power differential there isn't
oh,
is too
fair,
inexplicable. But
fair,
I see what
fair,
you're
fair.
saying
I
by
mean,
proxy is
with
what
a
you mean.
potentially with a okay, let's take another country for an example.
Mhm.
Could U.S. potentially go into war with a allied partner?
I don't know if they're an allied partner as much as I think they're more of a trade partner.
Okay,
You know, I
fair.
mean, we're trade partners with
A
Russia,
little bit just more
China, but we aren't.
influence. Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
and
Fair.
I think we've done the. I think we've really done, and I mentioned this the other day on the prog. I think we've done Africa a big disservice
Yeah.
because we've enabled them so much that they're dependent on us, which is somewhat a good thing for the United States because dependency is a good thing. It gives us leverage. When a country is dependent on us, we get the better end of a deal. You know, we cheaper
I think we
stuff.
just I think we lost the race compared to
I
like the Chinese influence, the Russian
Mhm.
influence.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, obviously there are, significant countries within within the African continent that are beneficial to the United States.
yeah.
I mean, South Africa, New Zealand, um, Egypt. I mean, Egypt is what I mean. Technically, it's far northern, um, far northern Africa, but touches
Hmm.
Middle East,
Yeah,
and I mean those are very significant trading partners and
yeah,
political partners too, specifically in that region.
yeah.
Um, mhm.
I think Egypt had some involvement in getting
Gaza and
the
Israel
peace.
to the
Yeah,
table. Mhm.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't
But
know what to do with these countries. We're in a difficult situation where we've enabled them.
can I
We've
can
made
I
them
ask
depend. Go
you
ahead.
a honest question though?
Yeah,
So with all of this going on, with just how many events going on around the world, whether and one thing that comes to mind, and tell me if I'm wrong, but is the United States looking for trouble, or are we looking for problems around the world? I mean, obviously these issues exist around the world, and they are.
Hmm.
Some you may say territorial dispute, uh, civil disagreement within, the country. Uh, I mean, obviously, Christian persecution is a little bit different, but it's also
Hmm.
still within the country. I mean, the United
Yeah.
States didn't exactly offer Uyghurs asylums or Uyghurs, a free passage out of China when,
Hmm.
when those individuals were being prosecuted. So the question is, are we just bored because of the government shutdown and we're just looking for something else out? What do you think?
I don't think we're bored, but I think we are shining some light on the situation because this has been going on for a while. The Christians being prosecuted, but I'll be honest, I was a little bit taken back when I saw that we had a trade deal for them.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Because it sound for me it just screams military industrial complex.
Yeah,
It screams 34.6 million. Where's that going to them?
right.
Which will it's
Why
what are
are
we
why
doing
is it
here?
going to why is it going to Nigeria?
Yeah, why is it going to them? I mean, what do they need weapons for what? They're a country that can't defend itself without other intervention. So what are they defending themselves? I guess neighboring nations, but what is their goal? Is it imperialism? Do they want to expand? Or do they want to prosecute Christians in there, which is even worse?
I mean, I think that at the end of it's hard to say, because you have this is where it gets complicated, is because you have for example, you have countries like Middle East, whose,
Hmm.
there is no such thing as separation of church and state. The church
Right.
is the state,
The
or the
church is
state
the
is the state is the church. For example, Iraq and most Middle Eastern or, Arab
uh,
country is it's not the fact that they don't accept Christian, well, a little bit of both. It is that, the country, even though the country is predominantly Muslim based, but at the same time, those countries are enforcing
mhm.
much greater Sharia law uh,
Yeah.
on a citizens based. You know,
Mm.
and the United States isn't gonna go and be like, yeah, your Sharia law is garbo. Got to stop that. We don't have that authority to break another sovereign country's, you know, church and state, including Sharia law. That's that's above what the United States can do, because it could be, according to their constitution, that Sharia law was implemented. Obviously, I don't know, I don't know the Nigerian constitution or what sort of, separation of church and state
Mm.
alike agreement that they have within the country. So, but yeah, I don't really know how you can you can really deal with this except potentially, you know, negotiate using the United States economic power again,
Hmm.
just because, I mean, obviously, hopefully this shouldn't have to involved in a military, um, shouldn't have to be involved militarily, but
Hmm.
obviously we do have units, at the order of President Trump to strike if needed
Hmm.
be, whatever that looks like. But how do you think Nigeria will retaliate if we did strike on, and how would the other Arab countries, uh, other countries who maybe not prosecuting Christians, but who are predominantly Muslim countries, react to United States attacking Nigeria in northern Africa into the Arab worlds.
Yeah, I think in this situation, as opposed to the Israel conflict, is a little bit different because we see one group um, prosecuting a literal 0.3%. It's like they're grasping for straws here.
Hmm.
Like your population is less, the population you're prosecuting is less than 1%.
Right.
They just want to get rid of all of this ideology that's in there and implement Islamism inside of their country. So I think the best thing to do, if I were to look at it just as it
Holistically,
is
yeah.
just as it is, and I would want to just get those white Christians out of there. They might find some affiliation to their country, but they probably want to move to America. I mean, they would be more than welcome to move to America if I had to think about it. Um, but yeah, I think we just get them out of there. It's a bad. It doesn't seem advantageous for us to get involved and fight against them. Not only are we intervening in foreign affairs and overextending ourselves again, we just have no. I mean, the only
Hmm.
thing we get from it is saving lives, which is good. Of course, I don't want to undermine that, but it's it is important thing to say. We're just losing money,
Right.
and we're hurting the American economy.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, at what point, do you say this is a civil matter? This does not involve United States intervention. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, That's why I say let's go the route of just getting them out of there. I mean, we're not that they want that anyways. It's in their best interest anyways to get them out of there. They don't. I don't think they're trying to kill them to just kill them for sport. I mean, some of them might, but I think they're killing them to get them out of their country and
To just
not
decrease
be
the
able to
influence.
influence their
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to influence their people within there. So it
What do
would
you
be
think?
nice to have Christians there, but I mean,
What do you
if they're
think
gonna
the
die,
role of United Nations should be? Um, I mean, obviously, we've kind of touched very lightly on
mm-hmm.
United Nations role in the past. I'm not a fan of United Nations. I think that they're mainly because of the five permanent party member are just a conflict of interest across the board, and you're you're never going to get anything done with these permanent members. Obviously, you know, because of their influence or their global influence around the world, that's why they were given the permanent position. And but they're also pretty useless. And
Yeah,
but in general, I think that I don't know if United Nations would even be involved in something like this. Because I mean, do you consider this a civil matter?
yeah, it's definitely a civil matter. It's a religious and a civil matter. Civil meaning society within their society. So yeah, it's definitely a civil matter. The United Nations is globalism at its finest. So
Hmm.
I'm opposed to globalism, so I don't think globalism is possible. Globalism is synonymous with some sort of communism, so I don't like it. I don't think we should be fighting. I do think we should fight against expansions of other countries, but when it
Okay.
comes to internal conflicts
We should
of
not be involved in internal conflict as in you know a Nigeria or I mean
Israel
yeah, but is Israel really internal conflict though?
well, no, I'm saying we shouldn't be involved in these wars. It is.
Oh, oh, oh.
It kind of is
You
because
th-
they're
you think they
it's
should be more
Palestine sits within the
within the
very
region?
strict borders
It's
of
internal
reading
depending
more
on
on
which
it.
side you want to look at it. They're
I
both
mean,
sides
yes,
internal.
I mean, I was reading up on it more. I mean, and seeing that they literally have blockades that limit. They give you. Have you ever seen that meme of this guy being dripped water from like those mouse stripping things that kind of drip it slowly?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a water with like a middle tube, and it drips slowly into the mouth of the consumer.
It's like a torture device.
Somewhat of a torture, but it's a scarcity thing that they kind of just give them the bare minimum.
Oh, 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 gotcha.
Yeah, so it's like a little bit of water coming.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha, gotcha.
not to get in Israel too much, but Israel was basically just giving them really. They were literally calculating. the calories that the citizens within Gaza would need, and then they
Yeah.
would just give that to them through the borders, through strict borders, and it's a pretty nasty situation going on there. I think that was in 1968 when they put those blockades up.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's to go back to Nigeria. I mean, we want to help out where we can, but we don't want to get into wars that into needless wars that just end in more dying and
Right,
suffering.
right, right. Yeah, I would agree with you, but I mean, do you think we? I mean, obviously, we're never gonna put boots on the ground in Nigeria or anything like that.
Oh yeah, no
We'll
way.
probably do aerial strikes if anything. Um,
Yeah, he might. We'll see.
all right, let's see. Let's watch this. I still got two videos, but I think I got a Fox and CNN. So let's watch this quick one here.
But
Uh,
President Trump is ratcheting up the pressure on Nigeria.
oops, that one's not working for some reason.
this is a bad PR look for him. Like
For who?
Trump
is leaving open the possibility of U.S. military action in Nigeria. As he accused the nation of not stemming violence against Christians there, the president has asked the Defense Department
Maybe he's
to prepare
bluffing, though.
options, that could
I don't think he's bluffing. I don't think he's bluffing at all.
Yeah, I don't think
include
so
troops
either.
on the ground or
But
airstrikes.
hopefully he's
The
bluffing.
situation on the ground, however, is far from straightforward. Violence in Nigeria does affect Christians, but also Muslims, and is driven by religious, ethnic, and resource-based tensions in that country. Joining me now, Fareed Zakaria, host of Fareed Zakaria GPS on CNN. He also has a new book, Age of Revolutions, releases in paperback tomorrow. Make sure to get your copy. They're always, Fareed, you're so good at just making us understand what's happening globally. Let's talk about what's happening with Trump in Nigeria. He's suddenly suggesting potentially putting troops on the ground or airstrikes. He's already threatened strikes inside Venezuela.
Oh, wait, did they say potentially putting boots on the ground?
Freudian, probably, but I'm not
And
sure.
we've been
Huh.
seeing the multitude of strikes on boats in international waters, killing more than a dozen people. For a guy who is insisting he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for stopping wars, how do you read what's happening now?
It seems very impulsive and emotional. He possibly saw something on TV. It is very strange. The Nigerian
Yeah,
people's
that's how he
situation is exactly
operates.
as you said, Sarah, very complicated. A lot of the violence people have heard about in Nigeria, Boko Haram, that terror group that took those school children we all remember, that was mostly Muslim on Muslim violence. Those are jihadi groups often taking, killing Muslims. Not in all cases, but in many of them. There is Muslim Christian violence, as you say. Some of it is based on farmers versus goat herders. The current president, Tinubu, has actually been trying his best to diffuse that kind of violence, and is himself an exemplary example of Nigeria's kind of multi-religious tradition. He is Muslim, the president of Nigeria. He's married to a Christian woman who is an ordained minister,
That's
and he
pretty
often
interesting.
talks about how that.
Wait, did he just say a Muslim president married to a ordained Christian woman?
Yeah, I mean, Muslims are allowed to
Interesting.
marry outside of their religion. Christians are not, but Muslims
That's
are.
that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't get that ideology within Muslimism. It's
Oh,
weird.
I I mean, speaking on the topic, I mean, JD Vance is a Christian.
Yeah, bad look.
Ursha,
Yeah,
uh, his wife is Hindu.
yeah,
And
not a fan.
not a fan of what? Of him?
The
Of the situation?
well, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's not. I'm no perfect Christian, but it's not. He's trying to get her to convert, though. He said that. I think he said that
He said
the
that
other day that
publicly. Uh,
he's hoping that she'll convert. She might, but we'll see.
do you think
I think there should be more Christians in the government, though.
there's already a bunch of uh, not conspiracy, but a
Sorry,
bunch
more
of
Christian ethics in the government. There's plenty of Christians. There's
uh
just not much push for Christian ideologies in there.
There's a bunch
They
of
love.
people already saying that JD Vance is gonna leave Usha and uh, and get with Erica Kirk. What do you think the
Yeah,
possibility of that?
I've
Have
seen that.
you seen that?
Seems like bad. Yeah, I don't think
That's
so.
some terrible PR.
Seems like it seems really outlandish. I couldn't imagine that happening.
Yeah, no,
Even though
I
I hate to comment on her because she's, I
Erica
mean,
Kirk,
she obviously, yeah, because she's experienced a recent tragedy, but her actions have been rather
suspicious,
questionable.
very suspicious to me. I mean, I'm not saying it in a bad way. It's just
Mhm.
that it's. I mean, who really goes on national television? What, less than a week?
Seems very
Less than a week?
theatric.
Very theatrical. Yeah. I mean, who goes on national
Also,
television though? Less than a week after your significant other passed away, or not, sorry,
yeah.
not passed away, assassinated.
Uh-huh.
Um,
It's very questionable, very weird, very theatric. I'm not. Also, she's. I looked into their relationship too a little bit. Their relationship's a bit odd as well.
do you think there's
And
more to it than what meets the eye?
I'm not a, I'm not sure. There could be. I'm leaning maybe there's something is a little just because her reactions have been very out of the ordinary for a mourning wife,
Right.
for a mourning widow per se actually.
Yeah.
Right after such an event has just occurred, like literally a few months ago, September 10th,
Hmm.
literally less than 2 months ago. And I was gonna say one more thing about her. What was it? I'll get back to it.
Yeah. We won't touch that. That's a different subject. But
Yeah.
for me, it is.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I'm not a fan of her being a CEO either. I mean, she's
Oh,
not a
CEO of
CEO.
Turning Point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard her talk. She leans more feminist, to be honest.
Hmm. I mean, regardless of how the company structure goes, that's internal affairs. I could care less, obviously, but at the same time, uh, and one last point for whoever is watching, for the audience that's watching, if you're curious about this topic, I highly recommend Candace Owens. She's a very influential, also a close friend of Charlie Kirk, and she has been a very critical spokesperson against Erica. Um, not maybe not directly, but
Hmm.
definitely indirectly, and potential involvement with Israel. So I'll leave it at that, and then
Yeah,
feel free to
on
do your
Candace
research.
Owen, she does seem a little loony,
Hmm.
but some of the things she's saying are coming up to be true. I mean,
The
I was
res
very,
She's doing her
very
research. She's doing her
opposed to
homework.
her. I was
So
very, very opposed to her work on Macron, but apparently some documents surfaced where Macron's wife is had mail on it, that she's a male. I don't know if you know about the whole situation with Candace Owens criticizing
no,
the
no, I
French
don't.
French Prime Minister's relationship with
Yeah,
this very old lady, probably double his age, which is weird, first of all. And then second of all, she's criticizing that, or
I mean,
she's stating that she's a man too, which I
the
thought was
the
very weird.
the age thing, I don't really care. I mean, you look at
I care. Men shouldn't be dating older women.
older. Well, I don't. Okay, I mean that's what is that? I mean, that
In
if
my view,
I
no, it
mean
shouldn't be legally
if
legislated, but
if
I
I'm
don't think.
if I'm 20 and my wife is 21,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, I
it's
don't see
marginal,
anything
marginal.
wrong.
Yeah, that's marginal. But 20 years age different?
Is that a religious thing or is that a personal preference
No,
thing?
that's a well personal preference, and it's this. It's just weird. I mean, she's 20 years old. I mean, we want good-looking women to be
What's
standing next to us, We have a 70-year-old ancient one next to us. I mean, it's not a great look.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking, what's her name? Caroline Levitt. How old is she? Isn't she like
I'm not sure.
26? You know her though, right? She's the White
Yeah,
House spokesperson.
yeah.
She's
She's good looking. She's a
what's
little young for that position too. I think she's
she's
there because
28.
yeah, she's
Do you know how
she's
old her husband is?
older. Well, that's the thing. I'm not opposed to differentials with men being older, just women being older.
Well,
Or so,
okay, but there's the differences in this. It
how old
is
is it? Yeah, I don't for men.
astronomically.
Yeah, well,
The
that's like
differences is
I don't
older than
think men any.
herself. The
Yeah, I
differences
don't.
is older than her.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
She's I can't do math right now. Almost 60.
Yeah.
Almost 60.
Yeah, well, I don't expect the same things from men to women. I'm not a
I mean,
I'm not
obviously,
an
it's
equality guy.
as
It's way different.
natural selection, guys are tend to go for younger women, but um,
That's another reason why you shouldn't go for older women. Too much older women.
too much older women.
Even if their eggs can be frozen or are already frozen.
Yeah.
Marriage
Get back
is
to
part of
this.
what he's trying to do. Nigeria is 50% Christian, 50% Muslim. So it's an
Nigeria is pretty split because I thought Nigeria is heavy
50% Christian?
50, 50, 50, 50. Yeah.
A lot of African Christians, probably.
odd place for
Black
President
African.
Trump to
Hmm.
interject himself, particularly militarily. I suspect, like many of President Trump's, emotional outbursts that will not actually lead to military action. That would,
I mean, this guy's
that could
clearly
set off
insane.
a
Like, look at him.
He's washed. Man, he's washed.
Yeah.
Yeah, this he's out to get somebody. I
He might have some Botox in his lips. He's got a Joker look going on. He's very weird.
kind of
Physically.
tinderbox in Nigeria. But we just have to wait and see
Fareed
with President Trump.
Zakaria. He's Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Fareed.
Is
He's
he Indian
Indian.
American?
He's Indian American. Yeah, Indian born American
How do you
journalist.
spell his name?
Fareed.
Zakaria?
Zakaria. Yeah.
Okay.
It's often you're trying to mind read this one man.
Yeah, and that can be quite difficult. I do want to talk to you about speaking of President Trump, what he told 60 Minutes, particularly when it comes to those nuclear tests that he is talking about doing after some more than 30 years where these tests just have not happened. Let me let you listen to what he told Norah O'Donnell.
Why do we need to test our nuclear weapons?
Well, because you have to see how they work. You do have to. And the reason I'm saying testing is because Russia announced that they were going to be doing a test. If you notice, North Korea is testing constantly. Other countries are testing. We're the only country that doesn't test, and I don't want to be the only country that doesn't test.
That seems reasonable. I don't know what their critique's going to be of that unless they want us to get annihilated by nukes.
They're just going to say, like, it's 30 plus years. So I don't know.
To see how they work. We know how they work. We were the one that used them on Japan. But if the U.S. starts blowing off nuclear weapons,
100 years ago,
a chain reaction with Russia and China following suit.
What did she say?
Start a chain reaction that used them on Japan.
She said,
but
we
if the
used them
U.S.
on
starts
Japan.
blowing off nuclear weapons, is this going to start a chain reaction with Russia and China following suit?
Dishonest questioning and framing.
It almost certainly will. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, first of all, what a dumb question. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that Russia and China are testing nukes. Yeah. It's not that they're going to follow the United States footsteps we are the one that are following their footsteps because they're the ones that are testing, which is why we're testing. So, I mean, we didn't get out of a 33-year.
What's happening that we're doing it because they're doing it, and that's what Trump said, and that's what we're following up on. But now she's flipping it around, framing it in a way that we're being the aggressors and that we're being the initiators. by doing this, but no, we're doing
No,
it in
no,
defense
we
of.
are the
So it's a
we
very
are
dishonest question and framing of it to state that not only saying that we're going to do it and it's going to go off in a chain reaction, that almost states that we're going to
right.
enact it on other countries as a first direction, not as a testing direction.
No, no, United
So it's
States
very
is
weird.
doing this as a
Yeah,
retaliatory, if anything.
yeah,
We're not the one that are. I mean, if you look at it, I believe, don't quote me, but I believe Russia was the first country to pull out of the Non-Proliferation Act as of recently,
yes, that's true.
and then
Yep.
that's the reason why we're essentially following suit. And since and they've also and Russia also recently just pulled out of I believe a UN agreement to limit certain nuclear material. So I mean,
Yeah,
all
it's
of
like this
that
woman's
is
got her eyes closed and her ears
I don't know
shut.
what she's yeah.
Some of this is classified information and we don't have
Nobody
access to
watches
it.
this shit anyways.
But conventionally, it's believed that Russia and China, and mostly everyone, stopped in the mid 1990s. North Korea is the exception. But the major nuclear powers have tended to believe that they can figure out.
Oh, on a side note, here's a question. If Russians supplied nuke to Belarus, for example, and Belarus used a nuclear weapon on, let's say, Canada, whose
Hmm.
fault is it?
Wait, say that if Russia supplied Belarus with a new, that's Russia's fault.
Okay, so
Because
what if,
Russia's the advanced country that has the responsibility. It's like giving candy to a baby or giving a gun to a baby and then the baby shoots someone else.
so similar example, if Russia gave nukes to North Korea,
Hmm.
but the weapon being shipped goes through China, and
Uh-huh.
the weapon is being used to attack Western country, whose fault is it?
I mean, at that point, they're all kind of along because they all have the weapons.
Well, so you just bomb them all.
Well, I don't know who. Yeah, it's a very
It, it,
interesting situation. I don't know
it
what you
is.
would do there, but you'd
It-
probably. I
well,
mean, at that
because
point,
this scenario is very relevant to, how, okay, maybe not not, not the Russians directly supplying North Korea with nukes, but they do have, probably Russian nuclear physicists come out and
mhm,
potentially, you know, train,
develop their
develop
infrastructure.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you probably have North Korean or maybe even Chinese nuclear
Yeah, I
physicist.
mean, I guess when it comes, if we go back to the analogy where you said, uh, or the hypothetical where you said Belarus might use it. I mean, we might just hit them both. Like hit Belarus for launching the missile and hit Russia for supplying it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's one argument that I've watched that's like, well, I mean, they're all technically at fault, but I think
Yeah.
there's such thing as like negligence,
Yeah, and also
or sin of negligence.
yeah,
So
also when you look at if you have Belarus, I mean Belarus in and of itself is not a big threat. They're a smaller country, no power really, no real threat
I mean
unless they have all nukes.
they're a
So
puppet. Um, well, maybe they're not a threat, but they are I would consider them a proxy to the Russians. I mean, Russians do store their nukes within Belarus.
yeah,
Um,
and they storm in Cuba too. So I mean,
yeah, 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 yeah. So I
Cuba's
don't
the
know.
bigger threat.
Cuba's is essentially in our backyard, but
Yeah.
I think my cats. All right, let's get back.
Out whether or not these weapons work without doing these underground tests, that have all kinds of environmental issues. It also it kind of has the tendency to trigger more of an arms race. But look, I think I know where President Trump is coming from on this issue. He wants leverage in these negotiations that we should be engaging in with the Russians and the Chinese. The big nuclear fact that
Someone
we
knows.
need to come
Finally.
to terms with is that China is on track to, I think, roughly quadruple the number of nuclear weapons it has over the next 10 years. That is a huge shift in the nuclear balance of power, and we should be trying to.
Okay, so
Yeah, I mean, this is very
raw
worrisome, to be honest. I mean,
from what? From China? Or from this news?
China and Russia just developing their military complex further. I almost am worried about them expanding. You know, I'm reconsidering my position that Russia may be more imperialistic than it.
Then what meets the eye?
Yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, historically, but you know, it's been so calm for so long that I
I
was hoping that.
there are a couple. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the narrative of the Russians, essentially threatening the US. Every sanctions, every military package was sent to Ukraine.
Mhm.
Every specific unit that gets sent to Ukraine is potential red line, and it can essentially divert or not divert, but escalate to a nuclear war. And and obviously, the red line has been crossed, I don't know, 1,500 times the dec last decade, and nothing comes
Guys,
out
we're
of it.
so close. I don't know why we're getting in conflicts. We're so close to be able to mine minerals in space. Trust me, I think it's coming. I know this sounds ambitious. I think it's coming. That means these materials are going to be abundant. So we need to be patient. That's why we need, as the U.S., we need to make sure that we're.
Yeah, but as the US, but not as the military industrial complex, they don't have the patience to, because they know that the war machine makes money. And so, okay,
Well, yeah, well,
maybe
when
not a
we
nuclear
mine.
war. Nuclear war is a little bit different, but a conventional war, it's definitely, I would
Mhm.
say there are some people who are getting it, who are benefiting uh, more so than others. But so this guy, this Fareed guy, said that China is potentially quadrupling its arsenal in uh, in a decade. So the last, obviously, my stats can be wrong, but
They're
the
like
last
600
chart,
nukes.
they were at like 600 nukes, and if they
Mm-hmm.
quadruple, that's only 2,400
Mm-hmm.
compared to what 5,500 of what Russian has, or 4,500 compared to what United States have. I mean, they're still far
Mm-hmm.
behind, uh, far behind the curve as far as nuclear arsenal. But obviously, you don't need thousands of nukes to be a deterrent. Um, and I think that, and I, in my opinion, I think Russian is 100% imperialistic because they are using the narrative
Mm-hmm.
of, hey, we're gonna push, not push, but we're gonna follow our agenda, and
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna use nuclear weapon as a threat. So
Yeah.
they're always gonna flaunt and throw this out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, it works because it is a fear factor that can, and a terrible fear factor, but it is a fear factor nonetheless.
Yeah.
Um, will they ever use it?
I
Don't
don't think
know,
so.
but I mean, who wants to take that chance at the end of the
Yeah.
day? You know, nobody's gonna be like, well, yeah, they were just bluffing. We're gonna we're gonna take the chance and call them on their bluff, call them out, call them on their bluff. But and we're the only, I mean, United States is the only country that has ever
Deployed nukes on
de declared nukes
yeah,
on a
offensively.
offensively, and I mean, obviously the world understands the you know the catastrophic follow
And
suit.
Ukraine has actually deployed a nuke, so
Has they? Oh, I mean, that doesn't really count though.
no, I'm just teasing.
That the what is it? Chernobyl
Yeah,
plant.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm just teasing.
but
It's an accident.
engage
Was it?
them
But was it?
in terms of
Oh yeah,
negotiations
no way it
and arms
wasn't.
control. And if you need some leverage in that area, I'm not entirely opposed to it.
All right, Fareed Zakaria, got your new
I
book out.
share
Thank
I
you so
share
much
his
for coming on
position.
early this morning with us as well.
We want to return
She didn't
our
like
attention
that
now to
response.
Africa, where President
She
Trump is
didn't.
leveling new threats of military action in Nigeria. Writing on Truth Social over the weekend that, in his words, if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, then the U.S. military may very well go into Nigeria, quote, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. Here's a little bit more from the U.S. president.
They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that. That part of the world, very bad. They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
CNN's Nick Robertson has followed these developments for us. So, Nick, I guess sort of a two-part question to start with. Number one, what is the reality of these claims that President Trump is making? And then two, how is Nigeria's government reacting to the threats from the U.S. president?
Yeah, and I think the sort of two things coincide in a way that both the Nigerian government and agencies sort of that investigate these attacks say that the data doesn't stack up with what the president is describing. Indeed, the former Nigerian foreign minister, who's also the former finance minister, is also currently
Yeah, I don't like the
Director General
intervention here.
You don't like the what?
I don't like the intervention here. I'm just thinking about it. It's
You're against the United States just
intervening on a level of
civil,
war.
civil, yeah.
I want us to intervene, but the way we intervene is through giving these Christians a way out. But I mean, it seems that it's more than just an
Yeah, but
ethnic thing. So it's
how do you get the Christians out without, I mean, 50,000, or I don't know the numbers, but I mean, we're
because
not talking.
I'm almost gonna get hated for saying, hey, we don't even intervene on this at all because oh my gosh, people are dying. So
No, people are
it's like
dying everywhere
everybody,
in around the world.
yeah.
That's
So it's like either way, you can't really hold the well. It
you can't.
feels almost hard to
This is my
articulate the logical conclusion and to stop the reoccurring events that the U.S. has historically done.
this is
Which
my
I'm not a
take.
fan of.
My take is I had to pick it if I was to pick a side with current events, right? I with how the United States is at now, I would agree with you that we should not be involved in these war. So not these war, but these conflict. So the reason why I mentioned for at this time and for Nigeria specifically is because it's everybody, you know, there's
Because
people
you're in
there's
Ukraine and
no
you're not.
no
I'm
because
kidding. I'm kidding.
there's people dying everywhere.
Yeah, yeah,
You
I'm
can't
just
save
kidding.
them. You can't save them all. I mean, there's still people dying in Iraq, Iran, and Syria, and they're also prosecuting Christians. I mean, you don't, and it's a lifelong mission for
Mhm.
United States
I mean,
and
even Israel
for
treats
us.
Christians poor.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, treating Christians poor versus prosecution is a little bit different.
Yeah, it's different for sure.
But I think I think you can't save them all. However, I do understand the United States as a global leader for now. I
Yeah,
think
but
that
who gives us that authority?
uh,
They don't their
our
country
military
doesn't.
does. It
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
matter.
the
We
problem.
just
Man,
go in and
that's the
we
problem.
make them understand.
Yeah, that's the problem. Man gives them authority. It's not God saying and permitting us to do this. So I don't like it in this situation. I don't like it in Israel's situation. I don't like it in Ukraine's situation.
Yeah,
We need to explore diplomatic resolutions. Let's go talk to the freaking
but
Nigerian government and
in the okay, but in the case diplomacy doesn't work, how
let the
would you?
cards fall how they will. Unfortunately, and it's sad to say, it's gonna sound bad on
So
camera, but
if the Nigerian government does not accept a potential diplomacy, would it be okay for the United States to intervene militarily. Obviously, not. I'm not talking about boots on the ground. Boots on the ground is completely different. I'm talking about striking potential military complexes and
the problem with that is that we're depriving them of their sovereignty. So I'm not.
no, because attacking a
Yes,
how
yes, we
so?
are 100% because we're taking away. We're intervening. Their sovereignty is that they are allowed to make rules on their society as they see fit, not from intervention of any
Oh,
other
I see
country
what
to
you mean.
tell
I
them
see what you mean.
what
Yeah,
they
so
can
you're
and
going
can't do.
back to like if Nigeria did practice Sharia law and the government does give them the right to
Well, I'm just saying holistically, as a nation, they're an individual. We're not all one globalist society.
right. Yeah, they have yeah, it's their country. They have their own constitution, how they operate, etc. Yeah, I would agree. But there's also a yeah, yeah, yeah. That I guess you're right. That would be a more of a difficult point because now how does a country like that coexist with
Yeah, I mean,
right? I mean now
there's
I mean
been
going
way
back
worse
to
atrocities than
much worse than
yeah.
what's going on in Nigeria, but
That doesn't. That's not a logical argument, but it is something to observe. But yeah.
yeah. All right, I think all right, let's go back to these guys. Oh, I can't see what I see, huh? I'll just finish this one here.
The World Trade Organization in London today, speaking earlier on with CNN, said that it's a very complex situation, that it is not
It's always complex situation.
perhaps as simple as the president portrays it, that there are other issues, there are environmental issues, and this is what the research is finding, and this is what government officials inside Nigeria are saying, that yes, Christians are being killed where these Islamist terror groups operate in the north of Nigeria, but also in perhaps even greater number, Muslims are being killed. The majority of the north of Nigeria is
Interesting.
a
Muslims are being
majority Muslim
killed as well.
population. So Muslims are being killed as
Yeah,
well
like
as
two or
Christians
three,
at the
which
hands of these
warrants
radical
his argument.
Islamists. So the picture that the president paints that this is just hitting
Collateral.
Christians is being, if you will, taken apart and taken exception to. And the other thing that's being pointed out is this religion is not the only issue here. There are issues there of community, of land use. There are farmers there who grow crops on the land, traditionally Christians, but there's also conflict with the herders who move and follow the cattle. They're mostly Muslims. So the issues there are complex and beyond the way the president presents them. We've also heard from the advisor to the president of Nigeria, who said, look, we don't take what the president is saying at face value. We sort of see it as he's done with other situations around the world as a sort of an opening statement that may lead to a conversation with other Nigerian officials. And he said bluntly, we'd welcome support from the United States as long as it respects the sovereignty, territorial integrity of our country. He said we would like better fighter aircraft to combat.
He brings up a really good point. He's saying that it's almost like the ambassador is like, we welcome United States intervention for you to do whatever to my country as long as you don't put the Nigerian country's sovereignty at risk. I think that's what I'm getting from what he just said. I could be wrong, but you're spacing out.
No, I didn't think he said that.
No.
He threw sovereignty there, I think, inadequately, but I mean, he kind of jumbled it in with his elongated sentences, I think.
These
But
Islamist groups.
He's trying to put light on the fact. He's trying to minimize the Christians dying when it seems like it's a much smaller percentage of Muslims. That's what these people like to do. They like to not quantify things and rather take a look at every minority group that has ever been affected. And it's just like there's a differential there.
Added to the
Numbers matter.
well, numbers do matter, but But it is also half and half, though, when it comes to the demographic of the country.
Yeah, but I think to what if I'm interpreting what he's saying right, it's a it's a different conflict and a much smaller conflict. It
Uh-huh.
sounds like it's an extremist group within Muslimism towards these, which would be a smaller group. It would be the people they don't approve of inside Muslimism who don't follow their strict agenda, as opposed to anybody being Christian, which
And
would
being
literally
slaughtered.
affect
Yeah.
everybody, every Christian, but not every Muslim would be
So it's like a
affected by.
specific denomination of Christians just gotta go.
Well, not a specific. Yeah, it would be like that, but it's not like that. It's
Not a denomination,
Christianity as a
but
whole.
specific
Muslim
rule
sect.
or yeah, rule set
Yeah.
that particular Christians refuse to follow or whatever the case is.
Yeah, well, I think it's just you're not Muslim, so you can't be here.
Yeah.
Better equipment. He said we have the troops. What we need better is support, military equipment support from the United States. I think at that level, what the president is stating as a cause is being taken down, and how it's being reflected back by the government in Nigeria is, yes, there's an issue of people being killed in our country. Would like some help. Can you do it?
Yeah, well, in terms of that help, too, part of that initial post from President Trump started with him warning that he would end, in his words, quote, all aid and assistance to Nigeria, before going on to talk about going in guns a-blazing. In terms of that aid and assistance that already exists, what would that impact be?
Well, the impact would be probably greater impoverishing the north of the country, where aid is being delivered. I visited there with, at the time, the British Foreign Secretary, Boris Johnson, before he became Prime Minister, 2017, I think it was, so about 8 years ago almost. The conditions on the ground were the same. I was there with his foreign development official as well, who was the minister for that, who was in charge of aid. And the aid was going into hospitals there to help with the people who'd been injured in these attacks. And the aid as well was going to feed people in that area, where the effects of this Islamist violence was destroying the economy, because people were being blown up by suicide bombs in the middle of their towns, in the middle of their...
I don't think, yeah, I don't know if I could. It's Nigeria is already a poor country as is. I just don't see. I guess the poor can always get poor poorer, but
Yeah, I mean, look, they have cities there, so I mean, this is a pretty
this is
like
yeah. Which I'm actually
modest
genuinely
country.
surprised too to see a city like this in
Yeah, where they
Nigeria.
got a bunch of funding, but they are also experiencing a bunch of floods right now. So
indeed,
Yeah.
with our intervention, it would be even worse, because we would be impoverished.
I mean, we're not gonna be attacking, City
Yeah,
Square and
well, we might not city squares, but we might attack some of their infrastructure. And with flooding going on, we could potentially.
I don't even see us doing that though. I mean, I would see us attacking any infrastructure if it's strictly military. If there was
But where are they going to hide? I
a
mean,
war.
they're not going to dig a hole and go underground.
No. I mean, for me, I just see them as in getting involved in targeting a specific military complex than anything versus attacking the power grid. Because if you do attack power grid or
Well,
water
I think they
grid,
might go into the hospitals. That's a callback to Israel.
to Israel using human not human shields, but
Gaza putting the.
going to
Or
hospitals to
they're
hide.
saying that they're in the hospitals. I don't know if they are, but they might be.
I think they are, just because they're
Yeah.
I mean, it's both.
They're pretty.
Some are propaganda, some are legit.
Yeah.
But
I mean, all their buildings are flattened, so they're not in every building. It's kind of, the bombing is definitely excessive. That's beside the point there.
Yeah. See how much longer we got. Okay.
One young man in the
30
hospital there
seconds.
said,
Can
look,
wrap it up.
what we really want here is actually talks with these rebels to leave us, the civilians, alone and let us get on with our lives. So even back then, people were saying, we need help. not only with food aid, not only with the medical aid that's coming in, but we need aid as well, support, if you will, to get into a conversation with these groups and stop the attacks. So I think at all those levels, when you stop international aid going in, you worsen the conditions and situation of the population.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick, appreciated the context. So key, as always. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it sucks what we've done to their country. I mean, their country shouldn't look like that.
What do you mean?
I mean, they shouldn't have nice, the things that they have, the nice, important, modern things that they have. They have none of the fundamentals. It's like when you learn just the top level stuff and you have none of the fundamentals to be able to build it up on your own, except you rely on
I mean, obviously, it's
the
it's
industry of others.
for me, it's more like, okay, what do they give in exchange for us to improve on their society? I mean, do they have natural resources? Do they have,
Yeah, they probably have natural
you
resources,
know,
is what I'm
natural
thinking.
reserves that the US can leech? Uh, and I mean, because if it doesn't benefit us, I mean, the United States doesn't really have, you know, it's not going to get, you know, supply a country just because from the good heart of the United States, here's some money to build. Because there's already too many countries around the world that you know that are in similar situations.
Yeah, I mean,
And
we just do
you
too much
just
philanthropy.
you can't help exactly too much philanthropy, and you can't help them. You can't help them all. You do what you can, but you yeah
Well, we help them in ways that they can uproot their society themselves. When we give them stuff, they expect stuff. So
yeah. I mean, I think that donations is
it's a
different
parasitic
than
relationship.
because you can essentially give them supply drops, and and the government just takes it all, and then what? You know,
Yeah.
it's all for nothing.
No, and then they wait for another one next month.
Then for another one, and the government takes all it again.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, okay, so how long before this, the supply stops coming?
Yeah. No, I'm thinking next week.
Exactly. You're not gonna
No,
let
not
that.
next week, but we sort of we put them on we keep lowering their amount of resources given each month. We got to ease them off of it. What is it called when you like come off like a addiction slowly? What's the
Um,
word? You know what I'm talking about? Like
yeah,
yeah,
I forgot. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to wrap it up, I'm with you on as of the current event. I don't think that the U.S. should be involved. Yes, it is an atrocity of what is going on. But I do think that there are other means of intervention.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say U.S. should not be involved, I'm not saying that the U.S. should not be involved in negotiation, diplomacy, none of that. I'm just saying that we should not be, dropping the hammer on them. I
Yeah,
think that potentially, if other countries wants to, uh, offer similar assistance, maybe in coordination with the United Nations, by all means, uh, you know, better, all the better. But yeah,
yeah. It's just gonna get us into another pointless war, just drain our
I don't. I
resources.
mean, I don't
Well,
see
I
this
think
being in
Muslims
a war
might.
though. But
Well, Muslims are gonna see it very poorly. That's another
Muslim
thing.
already hates the. I
I'm not a fan
I
of
hate to say
I'm
this
just gonna
on
say
on on this,
I'm
but the Muslims already hates the United States
yeah, I'm
after.
not a fan of the Muslims either, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna say that. I mean, the ones who act civilly, sure, but it's I'm
It's
not
not that I can't. This sounds this sounds ugly from both sides though. I
uh-huh.
mean, because the Muslim
Well, not
have
for
a
the
reason.
Christians.
Well, the Muslim
Well,
have a
historically,
reason.
maybe.
The Muslims have a reason to hate the United States
Yeah,
because
for sure.
I mean you're bombing their
I'm
their
not talking
home.
about their emotional responses to historical events. I'm talking about their ideology.
yeah, yeah, I would agree with you. Because ideology fundamentally, and this is what I learned from a wise man a long time ago, is that most Muslims are fake Muslims. Um,
Mm.
if you are a true Muslim, I'm talking about like, living out the Quran and, your, and understanding the hadiths,
Mm.
um, your primary, I have to be careful how I say this, but your primary goal is to take out as many people who does not convert
Mm. That's terrible.
in whichever fashion that of your choosing.
Yeah.
Um,
TNT vest.
I didn't
I
say
mean,
it.
that's completely like antithetical and to put on a suicide vest and go kill yourself.
Well,
You literally go straight to hell in the Christian faith. I don't know how that works
yeah,
in
but in
normal
the
faith.
Muslim is how in the Muslim world, the
What's
more
good
people
for the
you take,
goose is good for the
the
gander.
more people you take out with you, the
Yeah,
higher place in heaven you be placed.
that's the problem. That's
That's the
the
problem. That's the
yeah.
ideology that's the fundamental ideology
It's
that
salvation through
disconnects.
works. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how do you count that taking people out as salvation through work. I guess you can
Hmm.
see it that way, but
Yeah, man, he's getting rid of the opposers.
yeah, I think that's where um, you can't kill ideologies. You can suppress it,
Uh-huh.
but and try to
Never works though. If you try
well,
to kill them, they just go stronger.
they just grow stronger, more hatred, more vengeance. Yeah,
Especially when you don't have any power at all. I mean, your nation has not been one that's been known to be a very
strong.
advanced civilization. Yeah, I mean, look at all the Muslim countries, and I'm including India here. Do you want to go and live in India?
I think Indians are pretty. I'd say India is fairly strong, um, strong country. They got
Uh,
nukes. They got nukes. So there's that.
India has nukes.
India, yeah. Pakistan has nukes, dude.
Wait, is this like on the books or
On
like
the books, legit.
covertly?
No, 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 on the books. In yeah. So so a little bit ago, Trump said, he's glad that he was able to solve India and Pakistan because they could have escalated to
Oh
a
yeah,
nuclear
that's
war.
right. That's right.
So
Everyone
in
mentioned
both,
it.
so last bit, talking about nukes. So
Yeah, yeah.
the India has a defensive pact when it comes to their nuclear doctrine. However, Pakistan has an offensive nuclear doctrine, means that
Mm-hmm.
they have a first use.
Mm-hmm.
You piss them off, they're gonna use it.
Mm-hmm.
Where India has a
Retaliation,
a
nuke threat.
retaliation doctrine.
Uh,
So whatever whatever that means, but that's
Interesting.
always yeah. I think I don't know about how many each country has, but I do know that and it makes me really think like how did Pakistan get their nukes?
I mean, well, they're just working covertly with the Soviets.
Doesn't every country
BRICS,
just
BRICS,
get their nukes from
Russia,
from
China.
Russia, China? I wouldn't even say China, but mostly Russia, because the Russians are the one that are
Yeah,
extremely influential, or more outwardly influential. I think
yeah.
China is more inwardly influential. Um,
They're very diplomatic, spy-like.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They're not one to push narratives, propagandas, unless it's I think they're more semi propaganda, if anything. Like I almost never see Chinese propaganda on flyers, or you never hear them unless it's
yeah.
from
Well,
Western
they're
media
very
that kind of
they're
that
very
kind of
isolationist. So
yeah. Could be
Makes
could
sense.
be good, could be bad. But
Yeah.
that's the end of this episode.
Yep.
Thank
W
you.
episode.
Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. I don't know.